Going on there, YouTubers? Welcome back to my channel, Paranormal Biker. Well, today's conversational topic is a speaker pod set for my wife's 2016 Softail Slim. Let's hop off into it. Alright, so another set of instructions. It's like, how many sets of instructions am I going to get with this? Even the foam feels cheap. Looks like some kind of wiring harness. I know somewhere in the instructions said I'm supposed to splice. I hate splicing. If I could just get a wiring harness from Harley, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so look at this. I'm guessing it says amplifier in this box. Well, that's the controller, so I'm guessing the controller is yep, it is an amplifier with control buttons on the front. All right, here we go. Positive to positive and black to black, and screw the orange wire. Pretty straightforward. Positive to positive and negative to negative. What this is going to do is give me power to that amplifier slash Bluetooth that will in return send the power through the two speakers to give me some audible tune. Alright guys, so I just did a sound test and they are loud as hell. I have about a $1,200 Rockford system on my Street Glide with a big boy amp on it, and this right here is probably just as loud. So I think my wife is going to be extremely happy listening to that with a full face helmet on and getting it over those Vance and Hines. So I guess what I need to do is take that wiring harness. I need to pull this tank off, run that wire underneath the tank, and yeah, then I need to figure out how to get this canister on this fairing. It's supposed to hook onto this bolt right here, but of course this bar is in the way, so I'm gonna have to do some kind of modification. Get back with y'all and let y'all know what I'm done. So this Hogtunes canister pod is going on a 2016 Softail Slim S. And this Softail Slim S, guys, has the Screaming Eagle 110 in it. It's not the 107. And this is the Memphis Shade Batwing. I have not seen an install video on this yet, on this particular bike. So I do know that the instructions say right here that although this kit fits most models of Memphis Shade Batwing fairings, it may not fit your bike due to gauges and other components. And let me tell you guys, that's absolutely correct. So it doesn't fit my bike, but that doesn't mean that it fits your bike. But after I'm done, this will be fitting my bike. So I'm going to take off this trim piece on the tank, and I am going to be using a T25 to get that off. And then once I get that off, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to take this this chrome decorative nut off. That should be enough to take that display off. All I got to do is unplug the tack. And then right up here in the front, right there, is a couple of bolts that I'm going to have to remove. And after I'm done with that, on this side, I'll disconnect the fuel line, and then I will gently take the tank off. And it sucks because I just filled this tank up. Hey guys, and don't forget to lay down some towels across your bike. You know, if you have any old dirty towels or old blankets or something, get it on the exposed paint that you may be wanting to put tools on, or lean something up against the wall and it may fall over and hit your bike as you're working on it. So that's a word of advice, you know, just do that and save your paint, you know, because Harley paint's freaking expensive, even if it's a black or a white or a different color. I need to tell you how to, while you're taking parts off your bike, find a safe place in your shop, your garage, out in your driveway or whatever, to put these parts, because if you happen to lose any of them and you don't know what a specialty store is that sells these things, Harley Davidson does charge a premium, guys. Alright, so I just disconnected that plug. Right there it is. That pretty much frees up the tank. I'm going to remove that breather line. And then I'm going to set this on the front fender after I put down a towel. And then time to get the tank off. So I wasn't able to set it on the front fender, so what I did is I took an old microfiber rag, I wrapped it up in it, and then I just have it resting on the crash bar right there. So it's going to take a 9/16 to get this off, guys, and then I'd use a crescent on the decorative nut on the other side. If you get 2 people to help you with this, do it. If not, no biggie, just get you a towel and lay it across the tank on the other side so you don't beat your tank up with that crescent as you're wrenching on this. And a little secret about unplugging these, guys, this collar just goes right on up, and that as you push that up with the other hand, you're going to be pulling that down. Now this bad boy is ready to take off. Well, I almost thought it was ready to take off. I need this T40 to get the rest of this tank off, but besides that, she's about to come off. Alright guys, I'm going to stop right here. I'm at that frustrating point on the install. So let me show you what's going on. I just want to say, for starters, I ended up doing this with the tank on. I forgot that this tank had a crossover underneath and still had the factory crimps on it, and I did not have any hose crimps to be able to put those hoses back together, and fuel would have gone everywhere. So I just used a 4x4 to prop it up as I ran the power cable and the trough that goes right up the center of the bike. So it looks good up there, but here's my problem. Like the instructions said, it's not going to fit all fucking bikes. And that's the Memphis shade clamp right there, guys. So you could see I probably need to make up about 2 inches. God, I'm freaking happy. Holy crap, it worked out. There we go. Oh my God. So I just was outside pacing. Man, I was cutting a rug, going back and forth. It's like there's no way that I'm gonna have to make custom mounts for this. And oh my gosh. Yeah, that screw right there I was pointing at. Yeah, that's the adjustment screw for that quick disconnect. It worked. Gave me just enough play. And you see right there, guys, there's the gap between the speaker and that, I don't know, it's like a Hyperflex bar or something for the handlebars. All right. Woo! Damn. Okay, I'm gonna put the cover on. All right, there we go. Once again, I'm not too happy with the quality of the cover, but there it is. And it seemed like I had to put an extra bit of pressure on here to get them to snap in. So hopefully that holds against the bumps in the road. I guess we'll find out. So I was able to get the amplifier controller installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to get all this connected up. I need to figure out a way to zip tie it to these handlebars, and then I need to figure out how I'm going to hide all this wiring, which I'll probably get as much slack back this way towards the battery as I can, and then wrap it up and zip tie it, and then just have the seat sitting on it. So what you're seeing here is the tank slid back. The rear of the tank is almost in the battery compartment, but this is a shielding boot, basically to keep all the wires nice and tight in a central location, keep them from moving around, and keep them into that trough that runs down this backbone. And I unplugged everything. I know how I'm going to run this. Already have all this wire running down the trough going back to the battery, but this boot right here I'm going to take and hide this plug behind this boot. As you can see, I'll move these wires out of the way like all these other connectors. So I'm going to put it behind that boot, and that runs towards the front of the frame on the motorcycle. Whenever you're installing this, right, and you're running it through this rubber boot, or whatever the case is, when you're tugging on these connectors, you got to be careful, because I just ripped this hot wire out, and yeah, I just had an oh shit moment. So anyway, I was able to get it fixed. I ran just an itty bitty bead of solder to the connector without melting this plastic, and then I'm going to reinforce the whole thing with Gorilla Tape. What you should probably do is actually just uninstall the whole thing and send it back in for warranty reasons, but if you're capable of fixing your own screw up, you should do it. The next thing I would have done is lined up the connectors to see where that wire was supplying to the following wire. If I couldn't get it to stick, and disconnect the other side of that wire, and then actually just use a soldering gun to solder the two wires together and put a little bit of shrink wrap around it, you know, heat wrap with a lighter, and it'd have been good as new. Alright guys, so basically I have this unit paired up with my tablet. So since it's paired up from here on out, I'm able to control the volume control right off the side of the tablet, and it'd be the same thing with your cell phone. So I'm going to turn this down because it's extremely loud, and yeah, I'm going to allow y'all to hear the speakers on it, and I'll go through several different genres of music so y'all can tell the quality difference. Now I'm going to put some Eagles on. This is Leonard Skinner. Here's some hip hop.
Just a little bit bigger now. I sang on the radio, but it don't sound the same. And now friends talk about you all the days, just tear me down. Cause my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like
I think we nailed it, right? So I'm going to start getting this bike put back together so I can get on to my next project.
Free pass. Offer ends February 29th. Valid with select new memberships at participating locations only. Commitment required. Annual fee and other restrictions may.
Hey, don't forget to consult your owner's manual for all the torque specs to all these nuts and bolts. So this is what I ended up doing. I just took the excess wire and I'm just going to end up packing it up underneath this seat. So that's where it belongs. I ended up taking the system and running it through a switch, because if not, the system will stay on. So I just ran it through the auxiliary switch that's running the LED lights that are on this bike. Which is fine because you can turn the switch on and the LED lights will not come on until you activate the LED lights through the remote. All right, so basically all the tools that it took to get this job done, and I'm still missing a few there. So just to let you know, you're gonna take some tools to get the job done. So all right, so I'm gonna take it out for a road test and see how it does at 70 miles an hour. All right, so I just did about a 20-mile ride, and yeah, it sounds pretty darn good, guys. It's just I'm not a fan of the design of it. I hope they come out with a different kind of face shield for these things that you could purchase after the fact, because it's just ugly. And then this thing right here is too big. They should have made up something where the amp was on the back of the speaker, and then you could have a small controller here that you could just access with the thumb, or even have a small controller and then you could download an app or something, you know, to control the settings. But hopefully, you know, MSA and Hogtunes will get together and come up with a better solution to that fix. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, if I was wearing my full face or my wife was on this with her full face, she'd be able to hear it just clearly with the audio system completely maxed out. Especially because that full face is going to cut down on a lot of that wind noise, and it's going to allow that audio system to penetrate on the audio levels that you're going to need to be able to hear it with your ears. So it's going to be good. It's not going to be making your ears bleed, but it's definitely enough at 80 miles an hour without wearing a helmet. I was able to hear it just fine. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please give me a like, and to all y'all that aren't subscribers, please subscribe, turn on that notification icon. Don't take but just a second, or at least give me a like. And to all of my subscribers, my loyal subscribers, I want to thank y'all very much for hanging in there and sticking it out with me and giving me the views and the likes. Until next time, friends, stay throttled.